For math today, we're going to start with the steps for averaging. What are our two steps? We add and divide by the number of addends. That is correct. Now, we're going on to our concept card. So, you listen. 2 times 4 plus 6 minus 8 times 10 times 1 divided by 3 divided by 5 equals 4. 19 minus 3 plus 4 minus 6 plus 8 plus 9 minus 3 equals 25. 3 times 3 minus 3 times 6 minus 6 divided by 2 plus 2 minus 10 equals 7. 7 plus 8 minus 7 times 6 minus 3 divided by 9 plus 2 minus 3 equals 4. 4 times 3 plus 11 minus 5 divided by 6 times 3 minus 1 equals 5. 2 times 10 plus 8 plus 13 minus 5 divided by 6 plus 8 times 2 equals 28 is the answer. Last one, 4 plus 6 minus 5 plus 13 minus 9 minus 2 plus 3 minus 6 equals 4. I think 4 was our answer today because it was mentioned 3 times, I believe. Let's go over these. I noticed on our last test we did have a little bit of trouble with these for some of you, so try to keep this in mind. I would write this phrase down whenever you have questions like this, and I would write the King Henry doesn't mind drinking chocolate milk to remind you of King Henry doesn't mind drinking chocolate milk. Kilo, hecto, deca, this is like the unit, like meter. Deca, centa, and milli. That way this will help you to remember the order because it goes from largest to smallest. 1,000, then take off a 0, 100, 10, 1, 0.1, 0.01, 0.001. Does that make sense? KHDUDCM. Actually, this is like DA. But King Henry doesn't mind drinking chocolate milk. This will help you keep the order. So a kilo is worth 1,000. Hecto is worth 100. You can remember the H for 100. Deca is 10, like a decade is 10 years. That is one way to help yourself remember. Like, remember our decade days and remember those were only 10 years. That's what it covers, like the 80s, the 90s, the 70s. It's only a 10-year bracket, so think deca, decade, 10. This is whatever unit we're using, which would only be worth 1. Then we have deci. Remember, it has the E at the end because it's so cute. This is 0.1. Centi, 0.01 or 1/100, like cents. This one for cents. Think like, oh wait, it takes 100 cents to make $1. And then this is milli, and think of a millipede as 1,000 legs, 1/1,000. Deci is 1/10. So make sure that if you do not know these, that you learn them. Let's go over Yes, 1 meter equals 10 decimeters. It takes 10 decimeters to make 1 meter. This is C to M. You're just going from one number to the next, so it's 10. 1,000. It takes 1,000 millimeters to make 1 meter. 100. 100. But this is the opposite. They're both 100, but this says 100 centimeters makes 1 meter. This says 100 meters makes 1 hectometer. 1,000. Now, deca is 10. Decade days, 10. 10 years. 1/100 or 0.01. 1/10 or 0.1. 1/1000 or 0.001. 100. 1,000. Awesome. Let's review some more. All right. I've always been bad at shuffling. Oh my goodness, this is the same one. I think it's yesterday. Congruent angles, line segment, point, line, simple closed curve, angle, parallel lines, right angle, triangle. What's the difference between a right angle and an angle? With a right angle, you have 90 degrees. Triangle, 3 sides. Looks like a square on its side. It's a rhombus. Polygon, just made up of many line segments. So a triangle is a polygon. A rhombus would be a polygon. Circle is not a polygon. And remember, we call these plane shapes because they're just flat. They're not 3D. This is a ray. You have a point and a forever extending line. These lines cross. Think of a street crossing. This is an intersection or intersecting lines. This is a rectangle because it's a parallelogram with 4 right angles. This has right angles as well, and these are perpendicular lines. Parallelogram, trapezoid, square, trapezoid, square, parallelogram. Did you get those? All right, let's go into our page. We're going to go into our page now. And if you have any trouble, make sure you reach out to me because our test is tomorrow. Look at this. N plus 8 equals 6 times 12. First solve for the side you know. N plus 8 equals 72. Then we have to get rid of 8. N plus 8 minus 8 equals 72 minus 8. N equals 64. 64 plus 8 equals 6 times 12. And 72 equals 72. You work on section 1. Section 1. For the first one, you have n plus 3 equals 14. Have to get rid of the 3, so n plus 3 minus 3 equals 14 minus 3. And n equals 11. 11 plus 3 equals 7 times 2, and 14 equals 14. Did you get that? B, n minus 8 equals 10. Gotta get rid of the 8, but this time, to get rid of the 8, you have to add 8 to it. So n minus 8 plus 8 equals 10 plus 8. Hopefully you remember to do the opposite. And then n equals 18, not 2. And then you have 18 minus 8 equals 4 plus 6, and 10 equals 10. Now, when I was your age, I did them wrong sometimes or incorrect. But once you check, if you put 2, you can't do 2 minus 8 equals 4 plus 6. It won't work. And the last one, C, n plus 4 equals 36. n plus 4 minus 4 equals 36 minus 4, n equals 32. 32 plus 4 equals 6 times 6, 36 equals 36. Section 2, solve these story problems. Miss, now make sure you're reading really carefully and reading through each problem. Miss Falcon works 7.5 hours each day, 5 days a week as a secretary at a Christian school. How many hours would she work in 4 weeks? So first we have to figure out how many hours she works in 1 week. So she works 7.5 hours a day. Man, if I work 7.5 hours a day, that's not very long. I don't know. Okay, so 7.5. I think actually on Monday I worked 13.5 hours. 7.5 times 5. 7.5 times 5, not 7 because she works only 5 days, not 7. So the first thing we have to do, you say, I don't know how to do that, but yes you do. Change it into an improper fraction, 15 over 2 times 5, cannot reduce or being canceled. So multiply across and you get 75 over 2. Divide and you get 37.5. So the answer is that she works 37.5 hours per week. But that's not what it asked us, is it? It asked us, and we will put that answer down, but it asked us how much she works in 4 weeks. So now we take this number and we have to multiply it by 4. Whew! Now, I will show you a trick. We have to multiply it by 4, right? Just take this 75 over 2. That's what 37.5 equal to when we changed it. So keep it as that. That way you don't have to go, oh no, now I have to multiply 37 times 2 plus 1. Nope, it's already done. That's a quick time saver for you. Times 4. Cancel the 2 and the 4 to 1 and 2. And then multiply across. 75 times 2. 5 times 2 is 10. Carry the 1. And 7 times 2 is 14. Carry the 1. And it's 150. So she works 150 hours in 4 weeks. Good job. You got that. 150 hours in 4 weeks. Now the next one. Miss Malcolm is paid $10.33 per hour. How much does she make in 4 weeks? Well, we just learned that she works 150 hours. So we're going to take the hours times the amount of dollars. So we're going to multiply 150 times $10.33. Make sure you're solving this at your seat. Okay. Now the first one is 0. So for me, I'm going to use 0 and then go right to the tens place. 5 times 3 is 15. Carry the 1. 16. And then don't forget, if you do it this way like me, then when you get to the hundreds place, you need to make sure that you put 2 zeros because you skipped it. 1 times 3, 3, 0, 1. I like how I put it, so then I only had to do the 0 and then went straight to the next place. Then I added the 2 zeros down here, and then when you multiply $10.33 times 1, that's super easy. Now we add, and when you get done, don't forget to put your dollar sign and decimal point. She made $1,549.50. Is that what you got? $1,459.50. If you didn't get it, look at this really quickly to see where you went wrong. Section 3, I'm going to give you 4 minutes to do it. So actually, you need to give yourself 4 minutes. Time yourself for 4 minutes, and then press play if you're not done in 4 minutes. Okay, it is 4 minutes is up. All of them are wrong except for one. So A is incorrect. And I'm trying to find the error. Oh, it's in 3 plus 9 plus 2 is 14, but they forgot to carry, so it's 15. B is incorrect as well because in the in the 6 minus 2, they should have borrowed and made it into a 5. Minus 2 is 3. C is correct. That was the correct one. D is incorrect. They forgot to carry in the second partial product. And E is incorrect because 5 and 2/14, 2/14 reduces to 1/7, not 1/6. Okay, we are working on divide and check. Divide and check. Right, 7,284 divided by 44. First you say 4 goes into 7. How many times? Once. Don't forget to line it up. Then you say, okay, 28 is less than 44, bring down the 8. Then you have 4 goes into 28. Well, normally it's 7. That would be exactly 7 times, and 44 is way bigger, so I would say you need to go down to 6. 4 times 6 is 24. This is just estimating, carry the 2. If 4 times 6 is 24 plus 2 is 26. Good thing we circled that because we were good. And then we were left with 24 and bring down the 4. 4 goes into 24 exactly 6 times, but like I said, it's too big, so we're going to go into it only 5 times. 4 times 5 is 20, carry the 2, and 4 times 5 is 20, plus 2 is 22. Subtract and you get 24, and that is less. The answer is 165, remainder 24, and if you have a question on that, just FaceTime me. The next one, 16 goes into 3,709. The first thing you do is you're going to use 16, you're going to estimate like it's a 15, okay? But don't multiply by that, that's just to help you. How many times would 16 or 15 go into 37? 15, 30, oh, only 2. So you're going to multiply by 2, 16 times 2 is 32, subtract and get a 5, and then get a 50. Now by 15s, 15, 30, 45, it's 3. But 16 times 3 is 48, subtract and you get 2. 2 is less than 16, and bring down the 9. 15 goes into 29 only once, because it would be 15, 30, 30 is too big, so one time, and then you subtract and you get remainder 13. 231 remainder 13. And C is 190 remainder 84. So I hope you're able to figure that out. Section 5, complete the bar graph. You will just color that in yourself. I'll trust you. Now, keep in mind the scale is going by twos. So let's say, oh, for Dylan, for example, has 19. 19, there is no 19 on the scale, so you're going to have to go halfway between the 18 and the 20. All right, it should look like this when you're finished. Okay, let's go to the other side, multiply. I'm going to give you the answers for this back side, and then you can do this on your own. A is 1/4, B is 2/3, C is 5 and 8/11, and D is 9. Averaging, add and divide by the number of addends. Your sum is 220, divided by 5 and you get 44. B, your sum is $23.92, divided by 4, and your average is $5.98. For 8, for homework, b equals 57, 60 equals 60. Or that was A, I'm sorry. B, x equals 13 and 17 equals 17. For these shapes, a parallelogram, a square, a trapezoid, a rhombus, and a rectangle, I would say it's important to know what your shapes are. So hopefully you drew them like this. The last section we're going to do together really quickly. It says make change for $5 for these amounts. We're at $3.99 and we are counting up to $5. So $3.99 going up to $5. So the first thing we do is we get to the nearest 5 or 10 spot. Nearest 5 or 10 spot, our nearest 5 or 10 spot is to $4, and how many coins would that take? 1 penny, right? So now we're at $4. How many dollars do you need to get from $4 to 5? 1, right? So it should be, your answer is 1 penny and $1. Does that make sense? The next one is $4.63. $4.63. Our first thing we need to do is we need to get to the nickel or dime spot. The nickel or dime spot, the nearest nickel or dime spot is 65 cents, which would get us it would take 2 pennies. 2 pennies to get there. Now we're at 65, and the next step we need to do is to get to our quarter spot. Our nearest quarter spot, our next quarter after 65 is 75. To get from 65 to 75, you need 1 dime. Now, how many quarters, now we're at our quarter spot, do we need to get from $4.75 to $5? 1 quarter. Your answer is 2 pennies, 1 dime, 1 quarter. I'm hoping this makes sense. Now the last, nope, we're not done. $2.07. $2.07. Trying to get to $5. Okay, so the first thing is we get to the nearest nickel or dime spot. At $2.07, our nearest dime spot is $2.10. To get there, we need 3 pennies. Now, we're at our dime spot. Now we need to get to the quarter spot. The nearest quarter is 25, so 2.25. The fastest way to get from 10 to 25 is 1 dime. That's 15 cents, so it's 1 dime and 1 nickel. 1 dime, 1 nickel. Now we're at 25. How many quarters to get from $2.25 to $3? 3. So 3 quarters. Now we're at the dollar spot. How many dollars to go from $3 to $5? 2. $2. So it should be 3 pennies, 1 nickel, 1 dime, 3 quarters, and $2. All right, and the last one, $1.13. $1.13. We're going to our nearest nickel or dime, which would be $1.15. $1.15, which would take us to 2 pennies. Now we're at 15, and we need to get to the nearest quarter, which is 25. The fastest way to get from 15 to 25 is 1 dime. Now we're at 25. How many dimes would it take to get to $2? Quarters. It would take 3 quarters. Okay, and now we're at $2. How many dollars from 2 to 5? 3. Right. So you have $3, 3 quarters, 1 dime, and 2 pennies. That's it for math today. If you have any questions, let me know. And if not, I hope you do well on your test tomorrow.